Solo: A Star Wars Story released just a couple of days ago, and today I want to go over my non-spoiler review for each and every one of you. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, the Han Solo movie takes place 10 years before the events of A New Hope, and some years after the events of Revenge of the Sith. Now, looking at the Han Solo movie directed by Ron Howard and written by the Kasdans, I do want to go over a lot of the things that I enjoyed and a lot of the things that I disliked. Once again, this is a non-spoilers review, so no need to worry about spoilers. I actually do have my spoilers review up as of right now. If you guys would like to go ahead and check that out, it will be linked below in the description. But let's get right to it. Starting off with exactly what I thought about the film. The overall tone. Generally speaking, I thought it was a good movie. Not a great film. I would say that I enjoyed Rogue One more than this movie, and that I did go into this movie expecting nothing. And I think that's another thing that really helped me out a whole lot, of going in there with no expectations and just enjoying a fun ride, just a fun Star Wars movie, and that's exactly what Solo: A Star Wars Story is. Speaking from the heart here, guys, the truth. It is a fun movie. It's not a great movie. It's a good movie. It's a good flick, but I personally enjoyed Rogue One more. Maybe it's because I lean more to the war and spiritual side of Star Wars, but given that this movie is primarily a heist movie, alright, it is a new take on a Star Wars film, and I will say it's a real Star Wars movie that's relatable to other normal films out there. But looking at the other thing that I will say is that it does take quite a bit of time getting used to Han Solo, portrayed by Alden Ehrenreich. Within the first 15 to 20 minutes, it does take quite a bit of time, for me at least, to adjust and accept the fact that Alden Ehrenreich, this younger actor, is portraying a younger version of Han Solo in his early to mid-20s, like I say, 10 years before the events of A New Hope. You know, it's been pretty much known at this point that he's not really aiming to impersonate the Harrison Ford version of Han Solo, that he's aiming to do his own version of Han, and you do see this from, you know, the very beginning of the film. When we start off in, of course, the very beginning of the film, you do notice this right away, that this is Alden Ehrenreich's pure form and take on the character of Han Solo. So like I say, it does take quite a bit of time of getting used to that character, and yeah, I would say like maybe 20 minutes in, your mind just adjusts and accepts that this is Alden's take on Han Solo. Now, looking past all of this, I will definitely say this with complete honesty, that parts of the movie felt slow to me, especially in Act 2. I don't know if this has all to do with the, you know, original directors getting fired and then having Ron Howard reshoot 80% of the film, where 20% of the movie was left over from the original directors. That could have played a role, but I feel like that the first act went pretty smooth. Then within the second act, it was a little choppy. The third act I really loved, and this involved a lot of the Millennium Falcon sequences, a whole lot by You do really get into the Falcon a whole lot more within the third act. So you guys may have to wait for those epic Falcon moments by the time you reach the end of Act 2, within the beginning of Act 3. But the beginning of Act 1, the whole entire part of Act 1 is something that I personally found to move very, very, you know, fast and just smoothly. Overall, I think that the film really had a great pace and all. It's just that within Act 2, there were moments that really dragged for me personally, I will say. Moving past that, John Powell did an excellent job on composing, doing the music of the film. Sure, he's no John Williams. I mean, John Williams is a legend. This is something that you cannot just replace. But John Powell, I think, really nailed it with Solo: A Star Wars Story. There's a lot of original trilogy and even prequel trilogy callbacks when it comes to some of the scores, which I think a lot of you guys are really gonna love. Now, looking at, you know, L337, this is a character that I really disliked. I found the character really annoying. I found her as a nuisance. Phoebe Waller, you know, no disrespect to the actress, but I gotta say, I really did not like this character. There's no denying the fact that, you know, I just didn't like her. Just like how I didn't like Rose in The Last Jedi, I did not like L337. Another character that I disliked was Enfys Nest and the Cloud Rider gang. In the beginning, you're led to assume that their actual cause, what they're doing, you know, exactly what they're trying to accomplish, is actually something completely unexpected. Toward the end of the movie, you do actually learn exactly what they are trying to accomplish, and it may catch a lot of people off guard. But looking at both Enfys Nest and L337, those are the only two characters that I did not like in this movie. Kira was awesome. Rio was so funny. You know, the voice by, of course, Jon Favreau. He's the man behind the new Star Wars live-action TV series. He's writing it as we speak. He completed half the season. Rio was such a great character, so unique. He's like the monkey character. He kind of reminded me of Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy, to be quite honest with you guys. As far as Beckett and Val go, great characters. I think Woody Harrelson did a great job. Thandie Newton, how could you not like her? If you guys like Westworld, go ahead and check that show out on HBO. Pretty solid actors and actresses in this film, I gotta say, besides Enfys Nest and, of course, L337. Those two characters I just did not like. Looking at the Legends material, this is something that I personally respect out of the Kasdans and Ron Howard, is how much Legends material was now made canon, starting off with the Han Solo film. And I can't go into exactly what is put into this movie because it does reveal a lot of spoilers, but toward the end of the film, there is a big Legends reference. It's actually environmental, and I think that a lot of you guys who are really heavy into the EU and what used to be, and the whole entire Legends aspect of Star Wars, I think that you guys are going to recognize it immediately, and it does involve all of the characters inside of the Millennium Falcon. That's all I will say. So, yeah, guys, it's great that they inserted Legends material. That's one thing that I really love about Solo. There's great references in here, a lot of prequel trilogy stuff, some original trilogy stuff even stuff from the Clone Wars animated TV series, so keep an eye open for that. Han meeting Chewie for the first time. I felt mixed on this. I thought it was very much enjoyable. It's something that I did not expect. Actually, I thought it was going to be something completely different, and how it was executed, I didn't expect it to be the way it was. I'm trying not to say any spoilers here, but I will say that I would have preferred it to be the way that I expected. Now, looking at the Han and Chewie moment when they first meet, it's entertaining, it's fun, it's funny. It's quite scary in a sense. I really can't say any more. This is a non-spoilers review, but they actually make you perceive Chewbacca in a different way. I'll end it at there. Looking at, you know, the explanation of the Falcon's looks, I think that they nailed that perfectly. This actually all happens toward the third act of the film. You do get that perfect explanation of why the Falcon looks how it is in the original trilogy and even in the sequel trilogy, which is perfect because, you know, looking at all the advertising, all the marketing and promos for this movie, the Falcon looks all neat and clean. It has those blue stripes on top. You do learn and you get a perfect explanation as to why it looks like garbage. So its dark photography is something that I really did embrace. It had a lot of dim lighting in the film. The cinematography was amazing. Ron Howard really nailed it with that. The planets Mimban, Kessel, Vandor, and Corellia. What a great, you know, nice fresh air, right? A great breath of fresh air in a Star Wars movie. These planets are not only so unique, but they are somewhat familiar at times to past planets such as Tatooine, and maybe even a little bit of Hoth in there as well, especially when it comes to the planet of Vandor, because it does have a snowy element to it. I think that my favorite planet that we explored in this movie was Mimban and Corellia. I think that they were the most unique planets that we have explored in a Star Wars movie so far as being original goes. Now, moving past the planets that I really did enjoy, I wasn't so on board of how Han Solo got his name, and this is something that a lot of people may disagree with. If you agree with that, that's fine, but they do explain exactly how Han got his name as Solo. That's all I will say, and it's something that I really wish that they didn't do in this movie. I wish that they treated it in a complete different way. Moving on from Han Solo and how he got his name, the ending of this movie actually does have great payoff, and it does in fact leave open a sequel to Solo, a Star Wars story. The comedy was grand. I feel like at moments though, the comedy coming out of L337, it just... well, like I say, it was annoying. I didn't like the comedy from L337. The comedy from Han, Chewbacca, Rio, all the different characters, it was just spot on. It really worked. And Dryden Voss, what a badass character. Paul Bettany nails it as portraying a great new villain in the Star Wars universe. He didn't get as much screen time as I hoped he would get, but he does have enough in this movie to make yourself enjoy him. Now, moving on from that, I think that the Falcon has one of the best Falcon scenes in this movie out of all the Star Wars films out there. I know this is a big thing to say, but toward the beginning of the third act, there is an amazing Falcon scene that you are all really going to love, and like I said before, it does involve Legends material that is now made canon. Overall, guys, the pacing was very good. Like I said, the music, it just matched all of the scenes. It didn't feel out of place. The only things that really I disliked were it was a little slow and choppy at parts in the second act, and I really did not like L337 and Fist Nest. I just did not like those characters at all, just being honest. And yeah, the ending had great payoff. There's a great cameo in this movie, completely unexpected. I'm not going to give that away, obviously. And yeah, guys, that's about it. Let me know what you think about the movie overall. If you have seen Solo, please refrain from, commenting any spoilers below. If you guys would like to do that, go ahead on my spoilers review. But yeah, guys, anyways, hope you all enjoyed the content for today, and if you did, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.